There's different elements that make a well-rounded breaker, and being fluid, having good transitions, and having all the levels under your belt. And breaking has so many different elements, right? There's the spins, there's the air poses, air movements like air flares, air swipes, and things like that. So if I see that there's something that he may need help with, I feel open enough to make some suggestions and show and share. I think a lot of times when B-boys or B-girls check each other out, there's a level of, don't tell me what to do, and I got this, and look at how dope I am. How can you possibly teach me anything? Mm-hmm. And that's part of the rebelliousness of it, part of the aggression of the street culture and everything. But I think if you approach it a certain way, they'll receive it in a better way, they'll embrace it. So I just tried to show him some floor moves, all of them actually, some footwork and some top rock, just to help them gain more vocabulary so that there's more stuff they can put out and they can last longer in the circle. Because you can have one big move, but then after that, then what? So it's about, dominating and continuing, to conduct your sermon in the circle for a long period. And so I think that's what I was trying to help them out with. It feels good to know that what, I've learned from way back in terms of language can apply in a situation like this. So when I meet people who speak Spanish or only speak Spanish, it is a test for me too to see how I'm going to express these movements and this same type of energy in Spanish, which, to me, doesn't lend itself so much to that type of vocabulary. And yet, I'm able to do it, and I think maybe because I do still hang out in the hood, I am around people who don't have the most perfect Spanish, I can lend myself to that type of exchange. And so, then there's regular things, like this will always be an elbow. There's no Ebonic or street term for elbow, it's just elbow. So in Spanish, I can say, usa tu codo, ponlo aquí, o la mano tiene que empujar. Like, those are things that are just basic Spanish. So. But in explaining the essence of it, I have to bring in some of the more hardcore, edgy type of terms so that they understand the feeling behind it. When I look at them break, I think of excellence. They have really put in time, they've been in the lab, and they're hungry and they want to shine. They want to prove that they are good, and that comes across. I do see that there's a disconnect in the history of it and in the dance, more of the dance aspects of it, because I think on the international level, people are more looking at competitions, and to win a competition, you must have these huge, flashy type of, eye candy moves. You must be able to do this if you want to win. However, in a jam or at a party or out back at the barbecue, how do you dance? How do you enjoy this music? How do you celebrate your existence? And these are the things that are missing on an international level. I think the B-girls are coming up. I think we still have to deal with a lot of issues dealing with, gender bias and how people look at us as a weaker gender for whatever reason. And, that we do bring something to the table. However, we have to deprogram ourselves from what we've been taught that we're just here as eye candy, accessories, we're just, here to please. We have to kind of say to ourselves, let me get my skills on point so that when I do come to the negotiating table, I got something more to, to bring, to share. I might as well get your back at my skills so that you're looking at me as up to par with you. I'm your counterpart,
Okay.
That's it.